name is Trish Carter, and it continues to be my absolute honor and privilege to serve Cedarfield as a chaplain. Today, I would like to read an invocation in the form of Gandhi's Prayer for Peace. I offer you peace. I offer you love. I offer you friendship. I see your beauty. I hear your need. I feel your feelings. My wisdom flows from the highest source. I salute that source in you. Let us work together for unity and peace. Amen.
If you haven't heard by now, the Yankees lost the World Series. It was a rough week at my house. I instructed my husband not to look at me straight in the eye, not to mention anything baseball related, but most importantly, not to wear anything with a New York logo or emblem on it for at least a week. The good news is that at 8 o'clock tonight, we can speak to each other again. How many sports fans are there in the room? The good news for New York sports fans is there's always another season that begins once one ends. So let's go Brooklyn Nets. The Nets season is not very promising this year, but that really doesn't matter because there's always one other season upon us. And the next season that follows is my favorite one of the whole year. That's the holiday season at Cedarfield. This year, this will be our last town hall meeting, but don't fret. The month of December will offer many opportunities for us to get together to celebrate and enjoy each other's company and holiday spirit. In the meantime, if you're looking for a sports team to cheer on and support, the Brooklyn Nets would be happy to have you. Thank you. How about Paul Springman and Pat Sullivan joining me?
Thank you, Amy, and good afternoon, everyone. Pat and I are going to spend a few minutes with you and talk again about the team member holiday gift drive that we kicked off last month at this very meeting. For those of you that know me, or maybe for those of you that don't, I had about 40 plus years in the commercial property and casualty insurance business back when I was part of the corporate world. And you learn pretty early on in that industry that you have to have a master of numbers to do well in that business. It doesn't matter, if you're preparing a budget or if you're thinking about your next advertising or marketing campaign, or how are you going to deal with the most recent hurricane. You really have to understand numbers. And I was always good with math as a kid in school, and that fascination with numbers really has stayed with me my entire life. And so I started thinking about our team member holiday gift drive, and I started thinking in particular about our team members and some of the services that are delivered to us here at Cedarfield day in and day out, some of which sometimes we take for granted. I have a couple of slides I'd like to show you today, and Delonte is going to put them up on the screen here in just a second. Since our last meeting, I've kind of been busy speaking with a few of the directors and managers in various departments around Cedarfield to learn a little bit more about their businesses and a little bit more about their numbers. And I think some of the numbers on this first slide, when it comes up, might be interesting fodder for your next trivia contest over a cup of coffee or maybe your favorite adult beverage. Did you know here at Cedarfield this year we will serve more than 253 253,000 meals. 253,000 meals. That is a pretty amazing number, but then Neil said, when you start thinking about the numbers behind the numbers, like 3 pieces of flatware on virtually every meal, a couple of glasses on virtually every meal, and 4 or 5 pieces of silverware to go with every meal, we run through our dishwashers more than 2 million items a year. Now, I complained when Nancy asked me to load our dishwasher in the cottage. I'm not going to complain anymore. Can you imagine 2 million items running through, getting cleaned and getting prepared to be used over and over and over again? Our dining staff really, really does a wonderful job. So I picked up the phone and I called Barbara Brown one day and I said, how many transportation trips did we have last year at Cedarfield? And I'll tell you, you talk about a woman that is passionate about her business. She said, do you want it through the month of October or do you want it as of today? Do you want medical transportation trips or do you want other? Do you want a total? Do you want those within 5 miles or those outside of 5? She had every figure on her desk. She knows the transportation business inside and out. And we provided 3,240 transportation trips last year, about 2/3 of which were medical related to our residents in terms of going on doctor visits and things like that. We all use the housekeeping services. I started doing my own math, trying to figure out how many units here and how many beds there and this and that and the other thing. My wife said, call Sharon, she'll know those numbers. And I called her last Friday and she said, you know, Mr. Springman, we're a little short-staffed today. I'm working with 2 of our crews today, but I'll get you that number over the weekend. And she called me back first thing on Monday morning and she said, last year it was 11,002. Not 11,000, but it was 11,002. And I said, well, I'm going to just sort of round that to 11,000 if that's okay with you for my slide. And so that's what we used. James is here today and he's probably getting sick and tired of every time he answers his phone, it's me asking questions about maintenance and work orders and those sorts of things. But our maintenance team fulfilled and completed 14,000 plus work orders in the last year. 14,000 work orders. It's really phenomenal. Somebody in a senior executive director role recommended, why don't we put some faces behind the numbers that you want to use, Paul? And so, with Amanda's help, after we took Amy's great idea, we put some of the people that actually deliver those services to us here. Hamlet is in the top left-hand corner, one of our more beloved maintenance guys. In the bottom left is Danny, just about everybody's favorite driver in the transportation department. I mean, I can't say enough about Katrin. Every time you turn around, you pop up, she's helping somebody do something or providing some sort of activity for us through the lifestyle and wellness area. And have you ever been to the Atrium Cafe where Tanika didn't greet you with an unbelievably warm smile and check on you as you're enjoying your meal? And then I just took some faces here from our regular housekeeping crew and we put them together, just as reminders of those types of folks and those types of services that we receive here at Cedarfield day in and day out. After the last meeting, I got a couple of questions about the slide that I used on how much should we give. So I've got a second slide today that basically gets to the same ballpark of the answers, or at least the topic that we started to discuss last month. So instead of looking at it in terms of a percentage of a gratuity on a meal that you might enjoy in our dining room, think about all of the services that you might receive here at Cedarfield, almost like when you're on a cruise. They give suggested ideas on how much gratuity you should leave at the end of the week. And so in terms of suggestions, and here again, there's no single right answer, but in terms of suggestions, if you were to think in terms of $3 a day for a year, you would come up with a number slightly more than $1,000. And you can see the rest of the math. Only you as recipients of this wonderful care and love, not to mention the services that we've talked about, can put a value, and only you can thank you in the way that you best want to do that to our team members. As you also recall last month, Pat Sullivan, my co-chair in the Team Member Holiday Gift Drive, has been collecting stories. And she has some additional stories that she's going to share with you today. And then the two of us will be here as soon as Pat finishes to answer any questions that you might have. Pat?
Well, I hope you're familiar with this now, and I appreciate so much all of those that have sent me stories. I'm hopeful you'll begin to continue to send me some, like the ones that I've shared at the October Residents Council. We'll have one more opportunity to share these at Residents Council this month. So if you have a story you would like to share, please see me afterwards, and I will give you a flyer with my contact information. So I'd like to read to you several more great stories that I've received. As I recall, I was speaking casually to a team member in dining and mentioned that I was about to have surgery, and that during my recovery period, my diet would be restricted to soft baby food. The team member immediately suggested that I connect with a dietitian who would make certain that dining services provided me with this very restrictive diet. As it turns out, I was able to manage on my own, but it certainly was reassuring to know if I had needed this help, it was there for me. That's what living in Cedarfield is all about. Cedarfield's atrium staff is superb at making residents and guests feel welcome. My husband and I came to lunch at the atrium with two family members who had not been to Cedarfield before. As we moved to the counter to order, we introduced our guests to the team member taking our order. She immediately welcomed them and assisted with their orders. When the orders were ready, she served us, calling our guests by their names. Our family commented on how friendly she was and how great the service was. The next day, when we came to the atrium, the team member inquired about our guest, again, calling them by their names. What a wonderful introduction to Cedarfield for our family members, and what a wonderful example of service. And then finally, my husband was scheduled for heart valve surgery. It was scheduled for the same day as our housekeeping. As we were leaving, we told our housekeeper where we were going and asked if she would just lock the door when she left. She looked at us and asked, "May I pray with you?" We answered in the affirmative, and she held our hands and offered a sincere prayer. It meant a lot to us. As some of you have heard me say before, these stories are strong evidence that our team members do not just care for us, they also care about us. Our holiday gift is one way that we can let them know that we understand them.
Are there any questions?
My name is Bill Smith, and I wasn't gonna say anything, but Paul, you touched my heart. I was concerned with this drive. But listening to you, I'm not as concerned. I just want to remind everybody here, I've been here over 10 years. There's some here that's been here longer than I have, some a lot shorter. Never have I been here. This past year, we have had the best employees, gotten the best service, and I can tell you what it means to these employees. And all the things you talk about when we think about what people do for us here. We need to dig deep. The money we give to this stays with us here at Cedarfield. That's why we've got so many nice employees. I plead with you, dig a little deeper this year. Oh, you're doing a great job. I just had to say it. I just want to challenge everybody to give all they can.
Any other questions? Thank you. Before I ask Emily to join us up here, I want to know if anybody ever saw the movie The Wizard of Oz. I figured you'd say that. I would like to just say that the person behind the curtain is not the Great Oz. He is our contractor that is trying to work to make sure that our live feed is working. So he's gonna stay with us throughout the meeting, and hopefully by the end we'll have at least an idea of what the solution will be. But I just wanted to introduce you to the man behind the curtain. Emily.
Speaking of Wizard of Oz, fun fact, Emily Adler, as a junior in high school, played the Wicked Witch of the West in a play version of The Wizard of Oz. I'm sure you can imagine how difficult that was for me to play an evil, evil witch. But I did get to paint my face really green, and that was fun. And I melted. There was fog. It was really neat. Hello, everybody. I'm Emily Adler, Director of Sales and Marketing. I want to start just by saying, first of all, it is the month of November, and I am feeling extremely grateful to work here, to be in community with all of you today at Town Hall. And so I just wanted to say thank you for giving me a place to go every single day that I'm very excited to be. So thank you for that. In terms of our occupancy, first, let's introduce and welcome our 5 newest residents from the last month. We have Denise Costa in 378, and her downstairs alter ego maybe, Kay Lira, who is in 278. So that was 378 and 278. And then we had Paul Mueller, who moved into apartment 452. And Sandy Allenday, and she moved into 174, and George and Carolyn Thomas, who moved into the cottage 2104. So coming up, we have 6 people currently who are in the process of moving to Cedarfield. So they have been financially and medically approved, and so we're in that 60-day window of getting everything ready for them to join us. And then we have 5 families who are in the application process, who once they're approved will move on to the next stage. And then of the apartments that are vacant that we are able to sell, there are 15 of those total. So for our vacancies as of right now, we have 10 one-bedrooms, my favorite, 1 one-bedroom with den, 3 2-bedrooms, and 1 cottage that I am going to sell right after this meeting. And that's everything. So that's my occupancy report. Is there any questions for me? Okay, thank you very much. And wish me luck after this meeting.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Brittany Ingram Atkins. I'm the healthcare administrator here at Cedarfield. And I, this afternoon, am here to talk about a couple of events that we have coming up in health services. So tomorrow, actually, bright and early at 8:30, we are hosting a family forum breakfast for our family members in health services. So they are family members, they are responsible parties, they are POAs of our health services residents. It's a chance for our leadership team to have connection with our families in health services, and then for them to come and see us in person, as opposed to just talking through email or over the phone or anything like that. So that's the first event. The second is open to family members and residents, and that is on the 21st of this month. And we are doing a Thanksgiving themed family night. So that is a Thursday, the 21st of this month. It'll be right here in the fellowship hall. That will be for our health services residents and family members. And they can bring friends if they would like to as well. So 2 events that are coming up in health services that we're super excited about. Any questions for me? Lovely, thank you guys.
Leah, are you in the room and just hiding? No. Okay, we will skip Leah and I will ask Kate to join us.
Hi everyone, I'm Kate Seiler. I'm the Associate Executive Director, and I am going to gloat on our Poppy Place for a second. So we have had our Medicare number since September, and we this month hit 10 Medicare residents, 10 Medicare beds that are filled. So that is a huge milestone. I want to say thank you to our health services team, our healthcare team, who has put so much work and effort into making this happen and providing great services to our residents. The other thing that I wanted to talk about is just simply our occupancy in health services. In healthcare as a whole, we have 56 apartments that are currently occupied. We have 62 apartments in AL that are occupied, and 18 in Morning Glory, which is memory care. That leaves only 4 apartments in healthcare or health services open, and we only have 5 apartments in AL that are open, but 3 of them are reserved and 1 of them are our respite that is open. And then we have 2 in Morning Glory that's open as well. So our team is doing a fantastic job, and I just wanted to say thank you. Any questions?
I am curious to ask, is there ever a Medicaid beds in our Medicare facility?
No, we are only certified for Medicare. We are not certified for Medicaid. Any other questions? All right, thank you.
So before I ask Lauren to join us, I just want to share thank you for the team working so hard to fill beds in our health services side of the community, but also want to again publicly acknowledge that our residents who live here in the community are a priority for healthcare and assisted living, and that will always be the case. Our team meets on a daily basis to review the number of beds that are available and strategically plan for our residents that are in the hospital and in other rehab facilities, just to ensure that there's always a space for you. So although our numbers are higher than they have been in several months, our priority is to make sure that we always have a space for residents at Cedarfield. Okay. Lauren.
Good afternoon. I am Lauren Burnett, the Assisted Living Administrator, and I'm here to share some really, really great news with all of you today. The Walk to End Alzheimer's fundraiser is officially ended, and we are in first place as of today. Staff just for the bake sale, which is amazing. And in addition to that, we did have several last-minute donations that totaled $4,188, which ultimately puts us at $60,568. That is the most that Cedar Field has raised in its history for this campaign. So I just want to thank all of you for being so involved and so generous for this cause that's important to many of us. It's great news. And just a reminder that the Richmond chapter walk for Alzheimer's is this upcoming Saturday the 9th. And we do have a Cedar Field bus that will be leaving from Town Center at 9 o'clock Saturday morning to get there in time for opening ceremonies that start at 9:30. If you are interested, there still are several seats left on the bus if you want to contact Catron to make sure that you do have your name down for a reservation. And it's at City Stadium this year, so it's a different location from last year, but there will be plenty of us there to help direct, and we have a private tent just for Cedar Field, so very exciting. Any questions about this or the upcoming event? Thank you all.
Oh, I need an introduction. All right. Well, I'm James Hicks, and I'm in charge of maintenance. Got it? Yes, you got it. All right. Why did the maintenance worker at the retirement community always have a tape measure? To ensure that everything was up to standard, including the residents' stories. All right. I thought it was lame too, but I thought I'd give it a shot. So I have about 5 little things on here I wanted to go over with y'all, starting with elevator number 10. Number 10. That's the AL elevator. That's the fun one. Does anybody know that it's down? All right. Well, it's going to get fixed Sunday, supposedly. So they're coming out, I've been told, around 8:30 to get cranking on it. It should take pretty much a full day to get it fixed. So I'm excited about that. John Horn will be here to make sure they do the work. It involved hydraulic fluid change out and some sort of starter that went bad. Sorry it's taking 2 weeks to get it fixed, but I'm excited that it actually is going to get fixed. Another thing on the list is tree removal. Just want to make a quick note that there'll be some heavy equipment rolling around on Saturday, probably starting, I don't know, 5:30 in the morning. You want to hear buzzsaws? I'm just kidding. We'll do about 8:30, 9 o'clock. They're going to set up some large equipment and start pulling some trees down that one are dead, and they're on the buffer zone on this side, the north side of the property, kind of near the cooling towers. That won't really wake too many people up over there, but 2135 has quite a few unfortunate trees that are really close to the foundation, and they're going to require removal and some stump grinding. So if y'all are inquisitive people and you're interested in heavy equipment, slide on over there and ask Sam what he's doing. He's a nice guy. Another thing was kind of some quick reminders, a little bit of housekeeping associated with holiday decor. I'm all about putting stuff up. I just don't want it to catch fire. I don't want it to be in your way. I don't want it to be a trip hazard. I don't want anything to get too hot and smoky or anything like that. So just a couple quick things that I've outlined here. Be tasteful. Don't offend your neighbor. Be nice. Be safe. Extension cords, if you're gonna plug like extra lights in and so forth, make sure you're not gonna trip over them. If you need suggestions associated with how not to do that, come by my office and I'll help you out. There's no live greenery, period. If you're gonna cut things like wreaths or trees or things that might have been alive and you think it looks pretty, don't do it because it's illegal. It will catch fire at some point. Sometimes spontaneously combusts, I'm told. No candles of any type, unless they're the battery-powered ones that look real. Those are fun. And potted plants are okay. And don't leave cookies out too long for Santa because it will draw ants. All right. Let's see. Number 4, fuzzy critters at the pond. I thought I gave a couple updates on this, but they were able to catch 2. And as of yesterday, there was no new activity on the levees that they're building, so they are gone. And you're right, let's keep it that way. So we had the trappers go up the creek a little bit, look for some of the younglings. They didn't see any activity up there, so we might have got rid of them for a little while anyway. Next step is, now I think someone left me a note on my door, and the water level actually is down. Scott was able to break a few holes in the levee to kind of get the water to go down. So it's at a manageable level now. I'm just waiting on our contractor, Solitude Pond Management, to come back and give me a price on getting in there and getting rid of the debris. Once that debris is gone, we should have a really nice management style to keep the pond the way it is, the way it should be. And then furthermore, we'll get rid of the debris around the edges and clean it up and just make it one of those really sought after vacation spots everybody's gonna wanna go and watch the sunset. Last thing on my list was signage. Exterior signage is 99.3 and 99.2% done. There's a couple of signs that need to be replaced. If you'll notice, there's a couple of old speed limit signs that still look like the old style. Those are gonna be replaced, and then there's some standalone signs that are like 15-minute parking that are up near healthcare that will be installed as well. The interior signs are being fabricated as we speak. You can hear them, yeah. I think we're still 3 weeks out on the fabrication, but as soon as I know when they're gonna be putting them up, I'll let you all know. All right, show of hands. Is everybody satisfied with maintenance around here? That's not everybody. Yeah, that's some work to do. All right, well, more to come on that. Thank you all for your time. Any questions I can answer right now? Sir?
Wait, I'm coming with the microphone.
This is with respect to the independent living, not including the D-wing. What are your minimum and maximum relative humidity standards for a functioning adequately or as intended for our dedicated outdoor air system?
I love that question. Let's talk about it offline. Just you and me. It's more fun that way. I don't have those numbers in front of me, so I really can't spill the guts on that.
Okay, any other questions for James? My way.
I don't want to steal Amy's thunder, but it looks like they finally found the right poles for our traffic light.
Yeah, I'm glad y'all are looking on the ground out there. You can find $20 bills out there too, aren't you? I know. Do you have a new date, Amy?
Yes, I'll share it at the end of the
Oh,
meeting.
the excitement's
We want to
building.
keep everyone around.
All right, cool. All right, well, thank you for your time.
Sharon Brown, you're up next. Oh, no, sorry, Neil. I'm just reading ahead today. You want to flip a coin, rock, paper, scissors?
Sharon's up already.
Okay, Sharon.
And I gotta ask James the same question.
Good afternoon, everyone. We are in the founding month of fall spring cleaning for the year. So if you didn't have the opportunity to sign up for the fall cleaning, please give housekeeping department a call and we'll go ahead and honor you to make sure you get your fall cleaning. And also, if you have any items that you need get from your apartment to your storage or your storage to your apartment, please give housekeeping a call. Call Darlene in the maintenance department and put a work order. Then the housekeeping department will give you a call and sign up a date and a time we have this done. Okay? And one more thing. I get a lot of calls about Christmas trees. Please, if you need us to get your Christmas trees out your storage, please get Darlene a call so we'll go ahead and set up an appointment for you all. Okay? Any questions? Thank you.
Hey, good afternoon, everybody. How you doing?
Great, thanks for asking.
Thanks. Paul, I might have to revise the meal count a little bit due to Bill Smith's love of banana splits. So just keep that in mind. Wow, holidays are upon us as we've been talking. And a few things. First, destination dining. Everybody enjoying Greece? Whoop! Absolutely. I see Don, he always raises his two hands. And next we're going to the Caribbean. So you're gonna have things like a nice coconut shrimp with a mango salsa, fried plantains, ceviche. We have a jerk salmon, braised short ribs, fish stew with greens, pork mofongo, which is stewed chunks of pork with carrot, kind of a stew, yeah. And we got mango cheesecake for dessert. So 2 weeks starting on Monday there. And what's great about going to these destinations is we make little adjustments in between based on the comments that you have when you're doing a little survey. So we're enjoying your participation with this, and keep the comments coming. If you don't see a comment card, just ask at the hostess station and they'd be happy to give you one. Wow, holidays are here. All the holiday hours are being posted, are being posted and updated on channel 973 as we get them. The Informer, the last Informer that came out for November, we got 2 pages of items on here, but please know that there aren't some times. So as they come in, as we post them, we will put them on channel 973. For Thanksgiving already, we have 240 reservations. Last year we did 270, so we love to serve you during the holidays. Health Services, as Brittany had mentioned, will be here on the 21st doing a Thanksgiving holiday. Last year it was so wonderful, and all the family members that came, and we were able to accommodate all, and it was a big time. So thank you. But we served 100 in here too. Let's see, I'll read a note from Steve about New Year's. I don't know if I can do an impression of Steve, but I'll just read this anyway. New Year's Eve, please join us in Prima Pub and Grill for New Year's Eve dinner on Tuesday, December 31st from 4:30 to 7 o'clock. We will be featuring a strolling musician, a special a la carte menu, and a good time with friends. We will start taking reservations on Tuesday, December 3rd, beginning at 10 a.m. Please call the host desk at 804-474-8838 to secure your spot. Last year, wow, that was fun. That was a good time, and everybody left happy, and a couple needed to find their way home because they had a little bit too much fun. That's it. Other thing, little shout out to Roe Studer. I saw you here. There's Roe, and then Mike Steele. They did a wonderful job with the Insider. Interviewed our new executive chef, Seth Goulston, and a great little article in there. So nice job, guys. Again, Neil Stoyer, any questions for me? All right, thank you so much.
Steph.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Stephanie Merkium. I'm the Human Resources Director here at Cedarfield. I just wanted to talk to you about the Skills and Safety Fair. Many of you may have seen it. A couple of Fridays ago, we had a Skills and Safety event in here. And so just wanted to mention it to you all. This is an event that Cedarfield hosts twice a year. We did it last time in April, and then we just did it in October. Sorry. So this Skills and Safety Fair that we conduct twice a year, it's to help assist training with team members. So some of those training topics include fire safety, active shooter, resident rights, missing residents. And so each event that we host has a theme tied to it. And our last theme that we held on October 25th was the movie theater theme. So many of you may have smelled popcorn, and we were handing out candy, and each of the team members who needed to attend would go to the booths that were held. We had 18 booths that each department helped participate in. So any questions?
Thank you, Steph. Lawrence.
Good afternoon. I'm Florence Brooks, Director of Resident Life and Wellness. I have 4 things I'd like to share with you this afternoon. The first is you should have just received in your boxes the new paper phone directories. Those directories go out 3 times a year. If you do have any changes to make to your information in that directory, let Mariah Robinson know of those changes. The next paper directory will be published in February of 2025. Secondly, the clinic renovation is nearing completion. We have a plan to move the clinic back home the week of Thanksgiving. So the clinic will be closed that week as that move takes place, and we will send out more information to you as that time gets closer. Thirdly, a fees brochure, the Cedarfield Extra Services with schedule of fees brochure will go out next week. And it notes that these fees go into effect December 15th. For the most part, there's very few changes. The additions in the brochure that have not been there before is that it includes information on the electric charging stations. It includes information on massage therapy, and includes information on a change in the cost of personal training to $45 a session. Fourthly, we want to welcome Katie Bevanor as our Cultivate Coordinator. Katie's primary responsibilities are to work with our flower containers and select garden beds. She works with the Garden Angels, who've been working on converting planters around the independent living entrances in the last week. She works on garden programs and trips, and also is a resource for maintenance and engineering on beautification projects. So if you have questions about James River, call maintenance. If you have questions about the pond and nature trails, call maintenance. If you have questions about dead trees and shrubbery concerns, call maintenance. If you have questions about your sprinkler not working, call maintenance. If you have questions about bird houses and other structures on campus and wildlife concerns, call. And finally, if you want to embark upon a landscape modification project, by all means, call maintenance. Katie will be a resource to James and to maintenance on any projects that do need horticulturalist input. Thank you so much. Any questions? All right, thank y'all.
Just a couple more things to share with everybody. I know that someone in the back of the room stole a little bit of my thunder. But yes, we had notification earlier this week that finally the right parts have arrived on campus and that installation of our new traffic light will be happening very, very soon. When I say very, very soon, I'm not exactly sure how many hours that will be, but I have someone in this room in the back, Amanda, who has a personal connection with the person in charge of doing that, so she will be texting him after this meeting to see if we can get an estimate of what day that might happen. But we did find out that all of the pieces and parts are here, and it's not an equipment issue anymore, so glad to hear that. Next thing on my list is team member Thanksgiving, and I think I mentioned this last year. I guess for the 23 years that I've worked for Pinnacle Living, around Thanksgiving time, I've always been touched by some of our team members telling me what they've done during their Thanksgiving holiday. I have, over the last few years, encountered team members who said, well, I didn't do anything because I had no plans or no family to spend it with. So this year, like last year, we are going to invite team members who have no family to come and enjoy Thanksgiving here with other team members. You might see them in the building on Thanksgiving Day dressed a little differently than they normally do, probably not in their uniforms, but I think it's just something that it helps support our mission of enriching life's journey. When I tell people about our mission, it's not only about enriching the lives of people who live here, but I feel like we do a good job of enriching the lives of people who work here as well. And this is just another example of us making sure that team members feel part of the community. So I wanted to share that with everybody. And lastly, I want Betsy Pollard to stand up. She is our new philanthropy director. I know that some of you have already met Betsy, and she's going to stick around after the meeting so that you can introduce yourself. But we are having a meet and greet for her on Friday at the Hub. More information about that is on channel 970, and I hope that you will welcome her as we have, because we're so glad that she's here. Any questions for me? Okay, mission moment. Who's doing our mission moment? Stephanie and Sharon, come on up.
So we have a team member who consistently helps us, assists us with translation at Cedar Field. So if we need her to translate for general orientation or open enrollment for benefits, she's always willing to help out and goes the extra mile to help us with that. So I will let Sharon add her. She works directly for housekeeping, and I'll let Sharon talk about her a little bit.
Okay, this young lady, she was working for us once before, then she decided to come back with us. She's doing a good job, and she helping us with different kind of language, but I don't know any of it, and she come and help us with it. So I'm announced to pronounce this is Mary Chris Roman. Please come up, please. Well, Mary, we thank you for helping us with everything. Without you, me and Stephanie would be lost. I'm trying to say these things. So thank you, thank you, thank you. All right.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Mary Chris Romero Lopez. I live in Virginia for 27 years. My original country is El Salvador, Central America. I appreciate for Mrs. Sharon Brown for helping me and give me a chance. I help you for, not everybody, but I understand there's a lot of people not speak English very well, but me, but I'm trying to help this, for a lot of people and translate. I appreciate, thank you very much. I love my job, and I'm happy to be here, but thank you for joining. I appreciate it.
Okay, Mr. Miller's turn with our council report.
Gosh, I usually don't get this much time, so I'm probably gonna have to stretch out what I have to tell you. But anyway, first off, let me thank Paul and Pat for the excellent job they're doing on the fundraising. And what I wanted to remind you of today is that is only one half of our thank you to our team members. The other half is on December the 5th from 2 to 4 o'clock. There will be a team member holiday party here in this room that all of you are giving to our team members. It's something that is extremely enjoyable. They love it, we love it. Everybody is invited. I would mention that the first half hour or so is really, really busy. It's when you get the checks and a few other things. So you may want to come just a few minutes later, but please come to that party. Find your team members that you know and the ones you don't know. Thank them for all they do for us and enjoy a really wonderful party. Some of you will be invited to prepare food or make a donation for the food and the beverages and so forth for the party. This is all on us. This is not something the dining does. And there will be a flyer coming around that'll give you the information on whether, I think it this year is the odd numbered apartments and cottages, but I'm not sure of that. There will be a flyer. It will tell you what they're interested in you giving for the party, and it will tell you if you're able to do that, how you can make a donation. for the team party. Any questions on the team party? Any questions for the residents council, or do I need to slow down more? Thank you very much.
We're about 10 minutes short of our hour, and I will promise you that I will spare you me singing or telling jokes, because I'm not good at either one of those things. But I did get an email earlier about the live streaming. And thank you, first of all, to the great Oz on stage. We're hoping that you're making great progress. The first question was, what were the deliverables that the technology firm that we contracted with were supposed to do for us? And they did a lot of things here in the fellowship hall. The live stream was just one portion of it. They did the hearing loop, which was installed under the carpet, and I think some of you are already using that hearing loop. They also upgraded our projector. You know, our projector now comes from the rear instead of on a cart in the middle of the fellowship hall, and also worked on the sound system. So lots of different portions of the project was done by the contractor, and yeah, that's an update on that question. The second question is, did they achieve their goals? They met all of the goals except the live stream. And as I shared in previous meetings, what we ran into with the contractor was that they felt like they delivered what they were supposed to deliver, and suggested that Comcast wasn't able to deliver their portion of the deal. And when we had Comcast out here, they basically said the same thing. And that's why we've extended the invitation to another contractor, the Great Oz. What's your name? Jerry, on stage. And again, once we find out more from Jerry about where we stand with the live stream, I will post something on channel 974 so that you know where we are. I apologize again. I know that some of you depend on it for church services. I know that we have a few residents in the cottages that don't get out often and use that to partake in a lot of the programs and performances that we have as well. But we're working right now as hard as we can to get it rectified, and hopefully it will be sooner than later. Any other questions for any of our team members while you're here? Okay, thank you for joining us today. Have a lovely day.